Been on any international vacations lately? How about checking out the international media scene of those very countries? It's one thing to vacation, but quite another to actually understand the economies themselves. That's where we come in. My guest is Dr. Camille Baulant of the University of Angers in France. Bienvenue au programme des langues des affaires. Welcome to the language of business.
Good morning.
Describe the current economic situation in France.
The current economy in France is not so good because we have three problems. The first one is the unemployment rate, which is very high, 11% of the population. We have, second, a very high budget deficit, more than 3.6%, and European Union forbid this deficit. And the more important problem is the low economic rate of GDP. We have just 0.3 in 2013, and this year we will have just 0.9. And it is the same situation than in Italy. So the big problem is the recession, because without economic growth, we don't have some employment, so we have a lot of problems, and the people become poorer and poorer.
Has this situation changed at all in the last 3 to 5 years?
Yes, in fact, we have two shocks. The first one is the subprime crisis, and the subprime crisis from USA, and we have a very large economic crisis and very large social crisis with a rise of unemployment. And the second shock is, and it's linked to the subprime crisis, is the crisis of the debt, state debt from, Spain, Greece, of course, and Portugal. And now we have to pay back this debt, this state debt. So we have no money to make some investment in France, and no money to make some investment in school and so on, and social program too.
How has the economic situation changed from President Sarkozy to President Hollande?
When we have a French a president from right party, I mean Sarkozy presidents, he tried to help poor people. And now we have a left president, and he tried to help rich people.
And by left, you mean
and
a liberal,
so
right?
It's quite the same, but the small difference, and it is important for the population, that the welfare program with François Hollande is better than with Sarkozy. But the long run policy is the same, just the same.
You are an economics expert, but what does the average French person believe about the economy currently?
People of the street want that the French government change, but they don't want to change ourselves. That's a problem.
But yet, in spite of all of the problems, the hexagon, as France is commonly known as, continues to be one of the strongest economies throughout the entire European Union. Why is that?
It is strong because of our history. As you know, France is one of the countries which fund with Germany, European Union, and so it is, we have a great power in Europe, and if something is wrong in France, I think that European Union can go to collapse. So it's a reason why. We have a low place in economic situation, but we have a powerful place in political and social situation in Europe.
European publications, the US media, believes that the French government is providing too many subsidies to the French people. What is your opinion of that?
I agree with that. Too many. On the one hand, it's a good thing, because if you look at the data, you can see among all the European countries, our consumptions remain very high, with the GDP very low. So it's because of the subsidy. So it's good, because if there is no welfare, our PhD will be like Greece, under zero. So it's good. But on the other point, I think that the subsidy is too high because the people don't have interest to find a job. They have unemployment. So it's not good because they just wait subsidy from the French government, and it is not good. It is an economy we look to the past and not to the future.
If you had 100,000 euros and could invest them in any company's sovereign wealth fund, as a French citizen, would you automatically invest them in France? Would you invest it someplace else in Europe or perhaps the United States?
I invest maybe in the United States, but in France we could invest as a household in a life insurance, which is a very good investment, and you can have a lot of money. And I can buy also some French equity, because as you know, the stock exchange of France is getting up, like USA, like New York.
Do you think France would be open to foreign direct investment? Do they want foreign direct investment from other countries, or do they prefer to keep everything in France?
France is very open to foreign direct investment, and it is very easy to invest in France. But there is a lot of, paper to do, and foreign investment rather prefer to invest in Ireland because it is in English language, or in Spain because the cost of labor is under. But we are very open.
Talk to us about the state of entrepreneurship in France. Do you find people starting a lot of new businesses?
Okay. I think that in France, we lack of long-run perspective for entrepreneurship, and we just have some policy of short-run policy, so it's not good. And in France too, we don't make enough effort in research and development, in education, and so it's not very dynamic.
C'est bon. Merci beaucoup pour tous.
You're welcome.
Dr. Camille Baulant, Professor of Scientific Economics from the University of Angers in France.